Hey, welcome to your Gemini horoscopes for the week of February 4th through the 10th. And it's all about you this week. Focus is on self. Vespa is putting that sort of maternal focus on self. I've just got to say, the focus really is on self-care this week. Self-care should be a focus every week. I agree. But this is the week that reminds you, hey, it's really a good idea to put those self-care practices really in practice, which is really hard, I think, for intellectuals. To be honest, to be fair, I think this is really hard for intellectuals. Intellectual signs like Gemini and Aquarius, because it's really hard to stay in some sort of routine. I have the biggest, hardest time with just a regular skincare regimen for if I put my makeup on, yeah, of course I wash it, I moisturize it, I do all that. If I don't put my makeup on, I never think about doing any of that stuff. And so, basically I'm doing it once a week, maybe twice a week. It's not good self-care practice. I feel so good after I take care of it. My face feels so good. It does not feel very good 3 days after I haven't washed it. So I really feel like this week for you guys has a lot to do with you have all those things that you want to do and you've been saying you're going to do and blah, blah, blah. It's time to really sit down and put those practices in place and come up with creative ways to remind yourself that these things should be happening. Honestly, it's just a really weird thing that I know is an intellectuals thing. It's like, okay, I have to do this, but I want to do this. Oh my gosh, I need to move on to this. You just move and move and move and move and move and then crash whenever your brain finally tells you can fall asleep, right? Of course. So it really is, it can be kind of hard to stay on task and to stay on that routine, but it is beneficial to you. The more you are aware of your own self-care practices, whatever they are. And there are plenty of different types. Obviously, we have our physical, healthy, keeping our body healthy self-care. But we have our own mental and emotional health to think about also. And putting those practices in is also very important. Meditation is one of the most difficult things for intellectuals because your brain is going a mile a minute. And Geminis, I mean, literally have written the book on this. The brain is going a mile a minute. So to actually shut that down is extremely difficult. Some would say impossible, but it's not impossible. It's just very difficult. So it's definitely a good idea to sit down, knowing yourself, knowing how you work, how your brain works. Everybody always sits down and goes, okay, I'm going to start taking better care of my health. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do all of these things. And then they don't come up with a plan of how they're going to do that. And eventually, within a day or two, those new practices are kind of the way of the dodo at that point. So this is a way to not go overboard. You don't have to do all of it at once, but pick one or two self-care practices that you want to easily slide into your schedule that aren't very difficult to slide into your schedule, and come up with a creative way of reminding yourself so that you are consistently doing this. I did hear that if you consistently do something at the same time every day for 30 days, it becomes a habit and it becomes easier for you to remember that this is something that you have to do. For me, taking vitamins or any kind of pills at all, I mean, generally don't take pills, but taking vitamins or supplements, it's so difficult for me to remember to do this. So it's part of my before bed regime. I do what I need to do. I take my pills, I go to sleep, right? And then that way, I can remember. But you have every single person has a phone in their hand, and phones have alarms. They're this great thing. You can set an alarm, don't forget to wash your face or take your vitamins or what have you. You can also do that as a helpful way of being able to remind yourself. Trust me, the more you put into yourself and your self-care, the better you feel when you're putting all that energy into everything else that you're doing in your life. And the better you feel doing it, the better of a job you're going to do also. And the more enjoyable it is. I mean, it just makes such a huge difference when you pay attention to what your body needs. So, that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link, which is in the description of the video. I'd really appreciate that. Also, check out my website, also in the description of the video. You can book time right there on the website. It's easy peasy. Check out the calendar, check out the membership options, check out whatever else is on there. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys, have fun with yourselves and make it a great week. I'll see you next week.